guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play. Prayer answered.
Right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Oh, it is an ugly one out there. It's a great day because you got an Arkansas basketball game to watch. You don't have to stay up until the wee hours to finish it with a 6 o'clock tip against Mississippi State, but it is ugly outside. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi. That was not a lot of fun to make the drive today. I usually wouldn't come up to Fayetteville the day before a home game, but wanted to make sure that I had a chance to get out. I guess it's a special day. Not just because it's a game day, but because it's a snow day in lots of our listening area, which can mean a couple of things. One, be safe with I wouldn't call them crazy conditions, really. This is more of an Arkansas snow day than a bona fide snow day. But the snow is out there, and that means some of our listeners got the kids with them today because schools have been shut down. I understand in Fort Smith. I think a few of the other school districts have also made that call a while back. So it's a snow day. It's not necessarily a snow day right now in Fayetteville, Ty. It's more just like a disgustingly wet, nasty-looking day. I loved snow days as a kid. As a parent, it is a frustrating day because it throws everything off. But I think your experience as for school snow days growing up in the Rock would be quite a bit different than my experience as for snow school days in Pittsburgh, and that has nothing to do with the normal generational gap.
It's just the proximity of where we live. Did you guys even have snow days because
Sure.
of how well prepared Pittsburgh was for the onslaught of snow that came?
It usually took at least a foot, if not more, of snow to cancel school. But
Arkansas,
when
like
they did.
inch.
That's right. Not even an inch. I mean, a dusting. Usually it's the word snow on the nightly news. We'll cancel school the next day. And then it takes a couple of days after that, depending on if there were, like 3 inches or something that fell. 3 inches was just, Tuesday where I came from. So that we'd have a chance to sled. We'd have a chance to go out and play some football, bloody up that snow while we had the chance. But I don't know if I'd put today in that category. This would be this is not the kind of wet weather I'm going outside and playing football in.
Yeah, it's and plus the age adds a little bit to that, Phil. So you're not the young spry 20-something-year-old you used to be. Now you got a few miles on the on the car. So I don't think you'd be more inclined. But I think like kids for the younger generation listen to our program, and then just the parents that have kids right now, it's just a joyous time. When you see snow as a kid, especially like Arkansas, it's not like Texas where they never see it, but like it's still it's not as occurring as much as a kid growing up in Pittsburgh like you did. That was just an every year, almost every day occurrence in the winter. But for Arkansas, it's more of a delicacy, and so I enjoyed snow days growing up as a kid, playing football, going sledding, doing a variety of different things. And I think that when kids have the day off, they should definitely take advantage of it. But it seems like kids in this generation would just rather stay and play Xbox Live and play Fortnite and stuff like that rather than go outside.
I really do I didn't have to worry about driving on the highways very much growing up in Pittsburgh with snow days. But in Arkansas, I do, going between the Rock and Fayetteville and the Fort as much as I do. So good to report that I really love the iDrive Arkansas app and website. It's extremely helpful so that you know where the accidents are happening and what road conditions are. It looks like it's clear on 40 and some slush on 49 up to Fayetteville, but no accidents to report right there. All right, basketball tonight. Hogs are a 4-point underdog, and the line has moved pretty heavily since earlier this morning when they opened up. What was it, a 1.5 underdog? Now they're a 4-point underdog at Mississippi State. And if I were to get into the mind of the bettors that have made their decision since the line opened, I think a lot of people are expecting Mississippi State to dominate on the glass, and that would be the thing that leads the Bulldogs to a home win against a Razorback team that has not dropped 2 games in a row this year, has responded after losses with really good performances. When you look at the loss at Western Kentucky, the Hogs responded a week later by just shoving Tulsa's nose in it and almost putting up 100, if not for Ty Stevens in those 2 free throws. After the loss against LSU, Arkansas responded with a road victory at Ole Miss. Not the best Ole Miss team, but still Arkansas did get a road victory, which in the SEC is pretty tough to do. We talked yesterday ad nauseum about the idea of just moving past the Kentucky game because of it being a loss, because you want to forget about that atmosphere until Saturday against TCU and make it more about your home atmosphere than the opponent coming in. But in between, this is one of the most difficult games of the season for Arkansas. On the road, Mississippi State, healthy, at full strength. Their best strength is Arkansas's main weakness, and hopefully Arkansas is able to do what they've done quite a bit this year, Ty, which is turn their deficiencies into a strength.
Yeah, if you look at Arkansas, turning people over and not turning the ball over has been 2 of the biggest strengths they've had this year, out and all, as well as defending the 3-point line, still number 1 in the country. And you just got to get after Mississippi State, the number 1 team in offensive rebounding in college basketball. They have the best rebounder in the SEC, as Phil mentioned earlier this week, in Reggie Perry, at once an Arkansas commit. So you got to get after him in a variety of different ways because you're going to lose the rebounding battle. So you have to pick it up in other areas.
It's really also a margin of I agree with you. You know Arkansas is going to lose the rebounding battle, but it's by how much can you defend the glass at least better than being out rebounded by 15 or 20? That's the thing that you worry about. Is this? If Mississippi State is plus 20 rebounds, probably they're plus 10 to 12 on offensive rebounds, and they could dominate in second chances in ways that no other team has against Arkansas, save for LSU.
And we were mentioned in our halftime poll question, it's can the Hogs rebound tonight against Mississippi State? That's both real on the floor and metaphorically. Coming off the loss, coming off the emotional loss to Kentucky, the way the crowd showed up, the way the high intensity was prepared for that game, can you push that aside? Can you put that in the past like you talked about this week and go on the road and win a crucial victory? Because, Phil, you still got a shot to be a top 4 team in the SEC. There are 6 teams right now with 2 losses in the SEC. You're 3-2. You get a win tonight. That's going to be huge for the program this season. So you have a good chance. You can't let this be your LSU game as it was for the 2019 team last year, the 2018-2019 team, where that was their best win all season, and you clung to that all day long. You can't continue to cling to the atmosphere that the fans provided on Saturday. You lost the game, as Mason Jones and Musk mentioned. It's time to move on, and no better way to do that than to get a crucial road victory tonight.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on your thoughts on Arkansas basketball against Mississippi State today. Hogs return home to play TCU, and they got the home victory against Texas Tech yesterday. South Carolina on Wednesday. Now, I want to get into this later on, Ty, about this brawl between Kansas and Kansas State. How is this going to affect the SEC Big 12 challenge going on this weekend? I know Kansas State, really not a very good team, goes to Alabama, and Kansas are they supposed to host Tennessee?
I think that's correct. It's usually Kansas and Kentucky, but it's switched up this year.
But that's Saturday, so it's just interesting how this could actually impact the SEC in a positive way. Although it's a real black eye on college basketball right now, and really more than anything, it's a giant black eye on both Kansas State and Kansas basketball. That was quite a brawl last night. I was out with the lovely lady for a dinner, and just catch out of the corner of our eye, it's on the TV on the wall there, and I'm like, holy cow, that doesn't look like basketball. And some haymakers, some chairs being raised, looked like some stomping going on, and that's the ugliest college basketball fight that I've ever seen.
So for those who didn't get a chance to watch the fight, it's all over ESPNs and stuff. It's easy to find. Kansas was up big on Kansas State late in the game in Allen Fieldhouse, and a Kansas State player stole the ball after they were just trying to wind the clock out, and D'Souza slaps it out of bounds, blocks him out of bounds, and then stands over him by the Kansas State bench. Then the fight ensues, and all hell breaks loose, Phil.
All hell did break loose, yes. It reminded me a little bit of the Malice in the Palace, the famous NBA fight, because, and in this case, it wasn't fans goading the players. They were just involved in it because they had nowhere else to go. Pretty frightening situation. So that will affect the SEC Big 12 Challenge. I will assume that the suspensions that will be announced by the schools, because the Big 12 did say the schools will decide on the suspensions, and then the Big 12 office will either okay or say, no, that's not quite enough. So I would assume that'll come out later today. All right. Throughout the show today, a couple of guests joining us, Clay Henry, bottom of this hour, and Bill King in hour number 2. So with Clay, we'll talk college basketball, I think, a little more. And with Bill, it's a lot of college football, plus your calls and texts on halftime. We will be right back after this break on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com. This is the Morning Rush.
That's what I always find fascinating about not just media but fans. The guy sitting in section 212, upper deck corner, third row from the top. He is certain the guy that is 4 feet from the play on the floor has missed it when he's 3 rows from the top in the corner. You know, officiating is all about angles.
I mean, what better angle do you need than up there? You can see the whole thing, Tommy. You can see all of it from up there.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expedition with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes, only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s, over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is your smile? I recently read a study that said 61% of adults are attracted to someone by their smile alone. Another said that 48% of adults have untagged themselves from a photo on Facebook because of their smile. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we want you to be proud of your smile. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us talk to you about improving your smile with cosmetic dentistry options ranging from in-office bleaching to braces to porcelain crowns and veneers. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
When's the last time you did date night at Doe's? Doe's Steakhouse always has the charm and great atmosphere. Plus, the area's largest selection of in-stock wines. And all of the award-winning steaks at Doe's are perfect for sharing. And there's no charge for an extra side or salad when you share. Doe's is proud to be the premier steakhouse in Fort Smith at 422 North 3rd. Open 5 till 9 Monday through Thursday. And 5 till 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. So make it a date night at Doe's for a great experience every time.
Well, another decade has come and gone, and the year 2020 is here to stay a bit. Why not start another year with a brand new IP phone system from Pinnacle Telecom? And better yet, how about if it costs you nothing on the front end? That's right. To celebrate a new decade, Pinnacle Telecom will waive the installation costs for all cloud-based hosted IP phone systems. Voicemail to email, music on hold, auto attendant, and a ton of other features included. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com or give us a call, 479-242-0000.
Look your best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through cover drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
Our new PXG Gen 3 irons are the best coal irons we've ever made by a long shot. Gen 3 irons deliver game-changing distance, outstanding accuracy with a feel so soft, it's like spreading warm butter on a hot biscuit. Oh my! Gen 3 irons are sold only at PXG stores, PXG Fitting Studios, PXG.com, and at select custom fitters like Club Champion. To find out where to get your set, visit PXG.com or call 844-PLAY-PXG today.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Into the front court, they hand it off to Joe. Nice pick and roll. Bailey with a one-hand throwdown. How about that? The assist, the throwdown, and the Hogs are up by 5.
We are back here on Halftime. Phil Elson, Ty Richardson, just getting word on the Twitter machine as we were speaking about the brawl at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. By the way, I guess this sort of brawl has to have a name attached to it. You know, Malice at the Palace always seems to, it just rolls right off the tongue. So Ty, this is an assignment for the rest of the show somehow.
Okay.
You got to figure out a nickname for the fight between Kansas State and Kansas. I don't know how to do it just yet. It just popped in my head. Anyway, D'Souza, Silvio D'Souza.
It has to be something with fog.
I don't know exactly where to go with it just yet. The eggnog at the Fog, they'll probably do that for a Christmas celebration or a giveaway around a Christmas game. Silvio D'Souza has been suspended indefinitely for his role in the Jayhawks brawl with Kansas State. D'Souza was the guy who blocked the shot and then walked over the Kansas State player, or at least attempted to.
He just sat there on him. He was just looking at him like it was. And listen, the Kansas State guy started it. You don't steal. It's like a common courtesy thing. You don't steal the ball at the end of the game if you're down 20+. Like that's just being a little tool.
David and Harrison texts in, Fury at the Fog. That's the leader right now because it's the only entry.
Mm-hmm.
And is it the Fog is P-H-O-G?
P-H-O-G,
right,
correct.
Right.
Yes.
It
Fog Allen Fieldhouse.
It is not F-O-G-G, and we can only take clean language entries, unfortunately. Although not on Twitter, so do what you want on that.
Just over the air, we can't say it.
Exactly. We can engage with that kind of stuff off of the air, but definitely online on the Twitter anytime.
Yeah.
So I was looking ahead to the schedule for Saturday, and it is Tennessee at Kansas. Was D'Souza also at the center of the investigation involving Kansas basketball and Adidas?
Yeah, he did not play. They kept him out for the majority of the season, if I remember that correctly. And we had Drew and Harrison asking if Bill Self's ever going to get these indictments brought down on him because of the implications. I don't know. I don't know if the NCAA wants to take down Kansas basketball, but that if I remember that correctly, Phil, he did not play for the rest of the year or remaining of the year because of the potential allegations that were regarding his recruitment.
JP in Alma says the flogging in the Fog. That sounds okay. I like Jason in Frankfort, Kentucky's entry. I think this might be the best one. He calls it the Sunflower Scrum.
That's good.
That's perfect. That's exactly the kind of entry I was looking for. It's alliterative. I love alliteration. I don't love violence on basketball floors, but I do love alliteration. So
fist
that's well
flying
done.
At the Hog.
Fist flying at the Fog Allen. Yeah. I can't quite because it's Allen and Alma, and his name goes right after he says Fog. So I thought that was an extra part of the name. It was a little too wordy at first, Allen, but I think fist flying at the Fog is probably more of a tongue twister.
I like the Sunflower Scrum. I think that's the best entry we've gotten so far.
Don't ever do anything like that at Bud Walton Arena, but if it ever does happen...
Unless it's Kentucky.
It's the battle at the Bud.
Yeah.
Or the bashing at the Bud if somebody really gets hurt.
I'm okay if it's Kentucky and no one actually gets seriously hurt, but it's more of like a brawl or something.
So yes, Silvio D'Souza is the first one who will get the any sort of punishment, though certainly not going to be the last from a brawl.
The fracas at the Fog is Ryan and Van Buren's take.
Fracas is a good one.
The
I like Fracas. That's a good one, too. Keep these entries coming. 877-377-6963. We have to name the fight from the Kansas State game. And remind me of any other, great names of brawls. Was the FIU-Miami football brawl, was that given a name?
I don't know if I can.
Because that also, I think this Kansas State brawl was the worst I've ever seen in college basketball. Just like the Malice at the Palace is the worst I've ever seen in the NBA. So Miami FIU is the worst I think I've seen in college football. So that one went into the tunnels.
Yeah, that was bad. The worst I've seen in college basketball was Xavier and Cincinnati a while back. Xavier's Stu Holloway was chirping at Cincinnati, and then it escalated, and they got into it pretty big. And I think it's not David Freeze, something Freeze, Kenny Freeze, I think was his name, was the big Xavier center, and he got punched, and he was bleeding on the floor, and he's crawling away from the floor because there's just blood gushing out of his eye. That's the most intense fight I've ever seen in terms of college basketball.
It's a well-described fight, my friend.
Yeah. Got a text in from Clay Henry. He says in college football was the fight. South Carolina brawled in Holtz's last game. I think another good one is Clemson, Ohio State, when Woody Hayes punched that player. Because didn't that escalate into a pretty big?
Yeah, I think that was. I don't remember if that escalated to something any bigger than that, or if it was just everybody just dropped their tongues out of their mouth. What just happened? And you knew that it was the end of his career. Wasn't there? And I didn't mean for this to get into I didn't mean for this to devolve into a discussion of violence on courts and fields, but. It was February last year. Wasn't there something involving Eric Musselman's Nevada team? I forget the team they were playing, but it came close to spilling into the locker room.
Utah State, I think is what it was.
Yeah, they were the teams at the top of the conference.
Correct, and I think
they had a pretty heated rivalry during Muss's time there.
Mm-hmm. And I remember the assistant coaches, they're having to hold back Jordan Caroline, who's one of the premier players on his basketball team. It was just an ugly situation. I remember. Listening to Eric talk about it. It's just bad. There might have been racial epithets thrown or something along those lines, but it was just bad. It was a bad situation. Anytime something escalates, like it's one thing in professional sports because it's more prevalent, but college-wise, you're like, and last night was just not great look for college basketball in general, Phil.
Well, right now for me, Sunflower Scrum is the winner from Jason in Frankfort, Kentucky, but some of the other entries here. Fallout at the Fog from Drew, that's okay. Flatlander Brawl at Fog Hall, too wordy, Aaron. Fog Club from the 618, I think you're referring to Fight Club, is my guess. Waylay in the Wheat Fields, Danny from Bella Vista, that's okay. I don't put it up there with Sunflower Scrum. It's a little cute too. The Kansas Clash. I'm reminded by Carl from Lavaca that maybe the greatest baseball brawl. At least in recent years, was between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. That was the one that ended up almost knocking over the net behind the plate and spilling into the crowd.
That who's the old shortstop? Was that the Reds that didn't have a lot of friends across the league that I can't think of?
I can't remember exactly who it was. Pain in the Plains from a listener from Oklahoma. And the Allen altercation. I think we've got some good entries. Maybe by the end of the show we can actually pick a winner. For me right now, it's Sunflower Scrum, Kansas versus Kentucky, or Kansas versus Kansas State. That's the sort of thing that'll get a rivalry heated, without question. All right, so let's get to more of this basketball game for Arkansas and Mississippi State. And I think the thing that you need to do, what you didn't do against Kentucky, was complete what matters most to this team, forcing turnovers and turning those into points. And in order for that to happen, you got to hit your shots. You got to hit your shots, especially this team from the outside. They're going to need to hit from the outside because there are a few too many trees in the Mississippi State forest to be able to score inside very much. Isaiah's got to get going, or at least do a little bit better than what was it, the 4 for 11 from the field. And Mason Jones, I know that we made a big deal out of Mason distributing the basketball in the wins against Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, but for those are Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. I think to win against a team like Mississippi State on the road, you need Mason to start hitting from the outside. Look in the last few games for him, and he's 2 for his last 14 behind the 3-point line. So. I guess I thought he was a little bit more consistent than that, but this shows a little streakiness, and we've seen him at his best, but right now he's at the low point for scoring for, I think, his Arkansas career.
Yeah, and this is a chance to get a Quadrant 1 win with them being on the road. They're a top 75 team in terms of the net ranking, so this is a massive game tonight. And we mentioned earlier this season how we were curious, this small rotation that they've been playing, how much would that be affected when they get into the gauntlet of SEC play? Because if you look at the schedule, and I know that Eric Musselman and Anthony Arruda were talking about it earlier in the season, this is one of the toughest 3-game stretches they have all season long. Kentucky at home, on the road at Mississippi State, and then coming back with TCU at home. This is a tough stretch, and they probably need to win these next 2 games. Not to say it's vital that if they don't, all hell breaks loose or the house comes crumbling down, but it would be beneficial if they could win these next 2 basketball games, Phil.
Ben Howland at his press conference yesterday, initially the first question asked to him was about Arkansas offensively. All he wanted to talk about first was Arkansas defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be really interesting to see because, I mean, this is a big team. Reggie Perry's 6'10". He plays a little bit bigger than that. This Abdul Adu is 6'11". And can rebound the glass better than Reggie Perry on the offensive end. But, you know, I mean, Arkansas had some trouble defending against Nick Richards. That's a special player, though, in the paint. I think Perry is pretty close to that level. 16.5 points per game, 6th best in the SEC. We've already mentioned his rebounding totals, and he scored over 20 points the last 2 games in which the Bulldogs have blown out Georgia and Missouri. So, I mean, if you're Mississippi State, you're not a team that lives and dies by the 3 anyway. You live and die by your ability to out-rebound teams and get it to your bigs in the paint. And Arkansas has defended mostly pretty well against teams that were bigger than them because they're so active with those hands, knocking the ball loose and creating turnovers. They're going to have to do that somehow against the Bulldogs today. As of right now, I don't have the best feeling about this ball game. Mississippi State's playing really well. It's not that Arkansas hasn't been, but this is going to be a really tough ball game. Something to talk with Clay Henry in just a moment with. If you got any questions for Clay on the text line, it's 877-377-6963. Good to be with you on this Snow Day Wednesday. Stick around.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here with a better way to drive at Rath Auto Resources. New year, new you? That's a lot of pressure. How about new year, new ride? Now we can make that happen. Just resolve to start driving better in the Rath Road Ready vehicle that's perfect for you, like a 2018 Toyota Corolla LE or 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Your choice, just $14,993, and make no payments till spring. If you're like me and your holiday was sponsored by your credit card, that should give you more breathing room than losing a pant size. Waiting on a tax refund? Ask one of our non-commissioned solution specialists how you can use your W-2 to start driving better now. If you're keeping your current ride, our Meineke Car Care Center is there to make sure your car outlasts that new gym membership with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires and a basic oil change for only $24.95. Start driving better today with no payments till spring at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price affects trade allowance.
Happy Hour is now twice a day, every day at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. 7 days a week from 2 till 6 and 9 till close. TGI Fridays is the place to meet friends, watch the game, and just relax with all your favorite beers, drinks, and appetizers, including $2 draft beers, $5 pitchers, $3 specialty drinks, and delicious appetizers like loaded cheese fries, boneless wings, skillet queso, and a whole lot more for only $5. Happy Hour twice daily, 7 days a week at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
What's your family's security worth to you? Have you put off adding a security system to your home for another year? Or are you just waiting for someone to break in to be that final straw? draw. Use your income tax return to add a security system to your home for as little as $495 and $15.95 a month. Guardtronic has a package to help secure your home. Call today for a free estimate, 479-785-2323, or visit the website, guardtronic.com. License EO50.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. Indeed will also give you this sticky frog, which will suddenly leap and stick to the face of the perfect hire. Okay, there's no sticky frog. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire and try skills tests for free. Terms and conditions apply.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones drives inside, finger roll, goes and one. Jones had an avenue to the basket, drew the contact from Armstrong, got it to go. The lead's 14, and Mason's headed to the free throw line.
Leave it to an experienced writer to come up with a great moniker for the fight that we've been talking about, Kansas State. Clay Henry joining us right now. Clay says, "Oh no, Toto," and that might compete with Sunflower Scrum and some of the other entries that we've got here. Clay, well done, Clay Henry. I'm clapping for you.
Well, it just goes back to my Wizard of Oz days. Yeah,
that's right. Would you pick yourself as the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, or the Scarecrow?
Oh, I'd be a flying monkey.
Even better, even better. All right, so let's get to this basketball game tonight. Then I want to ask you about some of the stuff involving football and the incoming players now, especially about Felipe Franks. But basketball tonight, your thoughts on it? You think this is a game Arkansas bounces? They have bounced back very well after the first 2 losses. I get a sense, though, coming back after loss number 3 might be a little more tough.
Yeah, the energy and just all the emotion that went into that Kentucky game. This is the one that I've worried about the most, and I guess part of it is that if you look back through history, Starkville is about the place that Arkansas has struggled the most, and just not very many victories in the hump for Arkansas. And even the national championship team, I believe, lost there. I don't have the media guide in front of me, and I could go back and figure that out. But I believe Corliss and those guys, that's one of the places they lost that year. And this is it's the perfect storm too. There's not a better offensive rebounding team around than Mississippi State. With their 3, 4, 5 guys will just destroy you. And Arkansas, that's their weakness. We know that. I mean, it's talked about. I mean, it's like Bob Holt will go in those interview rooms and he'll ask at least 8 questions about offensive rebounding. And does it, Coach Musselman, does this concern you? Does this concern you? And Eric's trying to do his best to keep answering. It's like I wish one time he said, "I've already answered that one 3 times. You're just rephrasing the question." But yeah, it's beautiful, and I think that it's this is a game that will be tough for them to win, but having said that, this is a tough Arkansas team, and Ben Howland is exactly right to talk about their defense first. I know everybody loves to see those threes launched up, but the reason why this team is having success is because of their grittiness and defensive play, and it's. And the interesting aspect is that they seem to play better when they get smaller. I mean, I know we got used to hearing Nolan talk about teams have to match up with us. We don't worry about matching up with them. And Eric Musselman has kind of said the same thing, that's what they've learned when they go back and they say, well, our 5-guard lineup rebounds better than the lineup that we could use that would include 2 bigs, and big would be a relative term, 6'7" and 6'8".
Yeah, bigs are not the perfect definition for the tallest players at Arkansas this year.
No.
But it's a knee-jerk reaction.
They're bigger smalls.
Right.
Yeah.
That's coaches always love to use that term bigs. It's the only sport where bigs is ever a word. Otherwise, baseball could say bigs because there's a sunflower seed brand that's bigs.
Yeah, you got it.
Clay, you were on the button on the 94 team losing to Mississippi State. They only lost 2 other games that year. Do you remember which ones those were?
I do not.
And they lost, so they lost 1 other road game in the regular season, Alabama by 2 points. They lost to Mississippi State by 1, and then they lost in the Pyramid to Kentucky in the SEC tournament. That's it. That team lost 3 games all
I didn't remember the Alabama game, but I do vividly remember the game in the Pyramid. I was there for that. Did not go to Tuscaloosa for that game.
So why do you think, you kind of were puzzled, and I think a lot of us are puzzled. Why has this team had struggles in Starkville? Phil remarked earlier this week that they're only averaging like a little over 6,000 per attendance during SEC games, so it's not like it's a raucous home atmosphere. Why do you think Arkansas has had struggle in Starkville over the years playing basketball?
Well, it can be loud, and I think that's a misnomer. And if you go look at that arena, and the chances are you won't go to a basketball game there. But even in football, you can. That's where they park us a lot of the time, over by the basketball arena, and go in there and look. And it's not a huge place, and it can get loud, and it will be. I think the women put about 8,000 in there for.
Oh, they outdraw the men's team.
Yeah,
just like
by
South
quite
Carolina.
a bit. So it can be for different games. It can be pretty loud, and I think the other part is they've been pretty good, and for all their struggles in so many different areas, Mississippi State basketball has been decent. You can go back and you can look, and they've been in the upper half of the standings an awful lot. I don't think they're winning championships, but they're really competitive, it's kind of a different atmosphere. It's not a particularly nice place. It's fitting for Starkville is the way I would put it, and they can get it going. But they have had good players, and you go back to some of the Stansbury teams that we always questioned how he got those players, and I think rightfully so. And there's some questions on how they've gotten their players right now. Even to the extent of Arkansas losing. Really, it was the start of the end for Mike Anderson when they lost the commitment in a 2-week period from their best player now. In I'm going blank on his name right now. Help me, guys. He's averaging 17, double, right?
Perry.
Yeah,
Reggie Perry.
Yeah, Reggie Perry.
And I couldn't spit it out. Yeah, he was committed, and then in a 2-week period decommitted, and then he's going to Starkville. So, and I thought that not only that was a key moment in the downfall for Mike Anderson, but then losing to Mississippi State when you were ahead at halftime and then completely got blown out in the second half, that was the signal that Hunter Yurchik was probably going to do something at the end of the year. And he did.
One of the disappointing aspects of that loss, I remember it, was because that was the first game that Nick Weatherspoon had to sit because of his off-the-court stuff that they never figured out. He missed the last 10 games last year and the first 10 games this year. But, they got him back, and that makes them a pretty dangerous team.
Oh, they're dangerous, yeah. And I think they're really good, and I would not be surprised to see them make a second half run. And it's and Howland's a good coach, and I think their ability to play defense is good. They will play physical, in your chest, knock you around, and that's something to watch tonight with Isaiah Joe. And they're going to try to beat him up, and I don't mean anything dirty, but every time he moves, it's going to be a physical bump. It's going to be or a knock, a hit. A shoulder, a chest, and he's slightly built, and I thought that's what they did against against him, in the Kentucky game, and he didn't really get his points until the game was just about over. They've got to get Joe and Jones going tonight to have a chance, in my opinion.
And I think that's the case against the really good teams in the SEC. You can beat Ole Miss, you can beat Vanderbilt without Mason Jones, with Jones being more of a ball distributor, which is
Correct.
fine in certain situations. But to win against LSU, to go to Florida and get a road victory there, to win tonight, to beat Auburn, you need Mason Jones to be a scorer.
Yeah, the question about the game that you have to watch every matchup, and you talk about how big Mississippi State is. Okay, Arkansas has to try to figure out a way to rebound against that lineup. And Mississippi State has to decide, in the first 10 minutes, can our bigs play against all these guards? Mm-hmm. And if you get off to a good start, if you're Arkansas, you may can force them to play left-handed. In other words, do they have to take one of those bigs off the floor? Probably going to be, the center, not Perry. But it's because I think he can move a little bit better defensively. But and then can their big guy play against Jimmy Witt? I mean, it's just like he's the low post player. Do we agree on that he's best? He's Arkansas's best post player.
Yes. Which is still it's still an interesting thought to swallow.
Yeah, but he's their post player. Or at least they're in the paint guy that is going to attack but yeah, there are lots of different ways to skin the cat, as Nolan used to say. And Eric Musselman is it'll be probably different methods next year. This team will change dramatically, with the size and everything. And he's probably going to play three bigs at that point, or at least a small forward and two big guys. So, I've seen Nolan's teams. And I saw one of his Tulsa's team where he had a point forward, Paul Pressey, who played a long time in the NBA. They initiated, and Mike Anderson's on that team and is a guard, but Paul Pressey was the one that initiated the offense. And, Jimmy does that, and then he might initiate the offense as a point guard, and all at once he shows up in the paint, and he's the center. So you send a guard out there to cover him, and then he's going to dash inside and be on the low post, and it's a mismatch. And if you don't, you send a big guy there. He'll beat him with the dribble drive.
Clay, one last question before we let you go, man. And we've talked a lot of basketball at this point, but I want to switch it up to football. Gus Malzahn was in Mobile, Alabama yesterday, and he mentioned that Chad Morris is going to have full control of the offense in 2020 and will be calling plays. First off, I want to ask, do you believe that? And second, do you think Auburn will have success with Chad Morris calling plays this year?
The key in all of that, just like it was the key at Arkansas, is how well the offensive line plays. They replaced J.B. Grimes, who's an Arkansas guy, grew up in Arkansas, coached at Arkansas, offensive line coach. He just kind of drifted into retirement. I think he's probably retired in the Hot Springs area from what I heard. That's the key is they've lost all those offensive linemen. They pretty much started seniors across the board up front, and that will be problematic. And now to answer your question, Gus will let him start out calling the plays, and at some point Gus will call the plays. Now those guys are close, but he was close to Rhett Lashley, and at some point Rhett Lashley, just like, boom, I'm done. I'm out of here. This isn't working. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. They've got an experienced quarterback, which will make it easier. So there's not going to be a decision about changing quarterbacks, and at least Chad won't have to worry about that.
It's going to make sports radio so much more dull without 8 quarterbacks in 2 years. Clay, we'll let you go with that. Thanks so much for your time, and again,
Toto.
Congratulations on Oh No Toto. I think that'll be my winner.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoyed it.
Clay's with us every Wednesday. Of course, you can read him Whole Hog Sports and in Hogs Illustrated. All right, 877-377-6963. We'll come right back with more halftime. Don't go anywhere.
This is the best.
a show that lives up to the hype. You're listening to Halftime.
The big end of the hunting season sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Deer hunters and duck hunters, you can bag some huge savings right now at Jelco Outdoors while they last. Save on clothing, footwear, waders, decoys, scents, rifles, shotguns, bows, crossbows, and lots of accessory items for all your deer and duck hunting trips. Don't miss the end of season sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Winter is actually a good time to paint that room you've been meaning to get to for a while now, and the folks at the paint store in Van Buren can help you with a great color selection from Richards Paint. Need to do some outdoor painting? The premium low-tint application paint from Richards Paint is applicable down to 35 degrees. Experience hometown customer service you won't get at a national brand store, plus get professional advice from Sue and Vicky, who have 30-plus years of experience at the paint store in Van Buren.
Hey, Grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Y'all did such a great job on cleaning all the leaves from my yard, but I noticed y'all were pressure washing my neighbor's driveway. Y'all do that too?
Absolutely. Amy, the Grounds Guys is a full-service lawn and landscape company. We do leaf removal, gutter cleaning, power washing, and many other outdoor projects. At the Grounds Guys, we want your full lawn and landscape looking its best all year long. Call the Grounds Guys at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897. And say,
Hey, Grounds guys.
and get $25 off any fall or winter service. The Grounds Guys, serving Northwest Arkansas.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Being the family superhero is a tireless job, constantly defending against skinned knees and sibling supervillains that won't share. But who's there for them if you're not? Your local Shelter Insurance agent. With an insurance superhero sidekick, you can find a life insurance plan that helps provide a safety net for your family. Find your insurance superhero at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call me, Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Or call me, Jim Malum in Charleston.
It's a new year, a time for fresh starts and positive changes. Let us help your vehicle reflect your good vibes by making it look its best. If you find yourself a victim of the winter weather, we will work with your insurance company and help you throughout the process. We offer a lifetime warranty and a complete interior detail with all repairs. We can quickly restore cloudy headlights, making them look like new and brightening your road for better vision on these dark winter nights. Think of us at Evans Body Shop when you need any auto body repairs.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Do you hate your current mailing machine? Is dealing with that giant company not worth the effort any longer? That's the issue we had at Dixie Digital. While looking for a better solution for our own use, we partnered with FP for mailing and mailroom solutions. We now offer access to FP's entire line of postage machines, folder inserters, software, and more. Local service with a local company. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit our website at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
2020 annual tickets are available at Ben Guerin Golf Course. 18-hole green fees as low as $11.66 per round on a regular unlimited plan. And seniors, juniors, and veterans can play as low as $10.58 per round on the same plan. 18-hole green fee with cart as low as $22.50 per round on an unlimited plan with cart. And seniors, juniors, and veterans can play as low as $20.83 on the same plan. Book your corporate and charitable outings now at Ben Guerin Golf Course.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Hogs run the floor. Cheney at the other end lays it in. Boy, the Hog big men are just outrunning the Roadrunners down the floor. It's a 5-point Razorback lead.
Great job, Reggie Cheney. The Hogs have not been getting that from the other guys. He's hustling down the floor.
Halftime 877-377-6963 for calls and texts today. If you own a business that needs more security or just needs more curb appeal, give a call to the Fence Man. They specialize in custom installations. They've been doing it for over 40 years, and they can get you more security and more curb appeal. plus a lot more. Gates controlled access card readers. The fence man will be there for a quick, no obligations quote. And the number's 479-782-3936. Ask for Henry. The fence man is a division of Quantum Property Services. Love the team name Roadrunners. But minor league baseball is just taking the cake as far as the team names are concerned. And another new one comes out today. It just came out. Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Jamestown, New York. I don't know what affiliate they are, but they're a New York Penn League team, so they'll play a half a season, or I guess 76 games. The Tarp Skunks. The reason why, Ty, and I never knew this is now an educational portion of the show. Chautauqua County, which is the county that Jamestown is located in, is home of Howard Emke, who was a pitcher, a major league pitcher. I think actually had the lowest batting average in the history of the game. But he also was known as the father of the infield tarp. So Howard Emke created the tarp.
Interesting.
Which makes me wonder, why is it called a tarp and not an Emke? Because you know the Zamboni machine, right? You know what that is? No, it's not a generational gap thing. It's another thing like between Pittsburgh and Little Rock, not understanding the difference in what a snow day really is. It's that machine that resurfaces an ice rink.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'm thinking she's out of my league and him talking about the Zamboni thing. So yeah, I know what that is. I was like, I've heard that word before. It wasn't coming to my head at that point.
And the Zamboni machine was invented by Frank Zamboni, and they named the freaking thing after him, but Howard Emke ended up getting screwed. And they won't even call the team the Jamestown Emkes. The Tarp Skunks. It's an angry skunk, of course, which that's the direction minor league baseball is going in.
What a time to be alive, Phil.
What a time to be alive. That's exactly right. All right, what a time to be Brett Bielema. Staying out east, apparently. An undisclosed role, or at least a non-finalized role, as a Giants coach. New York Giants staying in the NFL. The Giants also hiring Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be? Have they hired a DC yet? Do they know who their defensive coordinator? This is the team that hired Judge, right, out of New England. So he and Bielema must have formed a relationship. Judge had been, running the special teams amongst some other things, I think, with New England. Now is the New York Giants head coach and bringing Brett Bielema with him. Wouldn't it be interesting if Bielema is the DC with Garrett as the OC?
The speculation is that Brett Bielema is going to take that defensive coordinator position, but it's kind of odd because Jason Garrett has already been announced as that OC or already been reported as the OC, but it's the title of Brett Bielema is undisclosed at this point, so maybe Judge is deciding if he wants to put him in a coordinator role, if he wants to put him as just a normal assistant role. So it hasn't come out yet. But I think the question is that you got to ask yourself now because of this happening. First, he gets the Patriots job, and now he could potentially get the New York Giants defensive coordinator job. Can you be happy for the guy? Can Arkansas fans take away some of that hate and disdain that they had for Brett Bielema and be happy for him? I don't know if I'm necessarily on one side or the other because I think there's various things that he did that hurt your football program, but I think that's a question we need to ask. Is there anyone that's going to be happy for Brett Bielema, or there's still going to be most of the listeners going to be outside with pickets and still angry at what he did to the program?
Well, it might give the people who still despise Bielema from his time at Arkansas a little more fuel to the fire because they're probably also Cowboys fans. You get so many Razorback fans that are Cowboys fans too. You know, they were ready to see Jason Garrett go. Little did they know he would end up as an offensive coordinator in the same division and fill the role that he filled for quite a while with the Cowboys. So you can give yourself a good old-fashioned 16-game hate for Razorback fans. So, look, I mean, remember when Bielema first came to Arkansas replacing, and I know he replaced John L. Smith, but essentially he replaced Bobby Petrino.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the whole idea like, boy, he just seems like such a great guy. Open door policy. Players can come in. He's wearing flip-flops. Look, he loves to wear Hawaiian shirts. The guy loves to party. You know, look, he married up. It may be the best way to put it, right?
Outkicked his coverage, yeah.
So, and you wanted to like the guy so much of it has to do with the success or lack thereof of your program and what you were left with, you know, when it was all said and done and Chad Morris takes over. You know, and it's interesting to see the reactions to the new roles for former Arkansas coaches, where there was, I don't know if I'd say there was shock that Bobby Petrino gets a head coaching job at Missouri State. The thing that really stood out was that he's so close to Fayetteville. He apparently did love the Ozarks. And, with Chad Morris taking the offensive coordinator job at Auburn, everybody was ready to say bye-bye. Now he's in a role which he's completely perfectly suited for, calling plays at Auburn. And that could come back to bite Arkansas in the butt. Not like you should have kept him as the head coach, but he can really hurt Arkansas in that role, calling the plays for Gus Malzahn. And now with Bielema, he was out of coaching for a couple of years. We know he was really coaching, or at least something, whatever it was, as an analyst for the Patriots. I don't know if the hatred that you might have felt, or disappointment or dislike of Chad Morris, that's probably a little more white hot right now. Recency bias. So I never had the hatred for Bielema. I had good personal interactions with him. I could see why Arkansas fans still just look that you believed after a couple of years that the program was heading in the right direction, and then what was it, halftime at the Mississippi State game 3 years ago, and you have the lead, and then the bottom falls out, and the next thing you know, a year later, the program is ready to move on.
Yeah, and I think, like you're talking about with Brett Bielema, it's just one of those things where some people had good interactions with him, but ultimately what happened is it didn't work out for the program. But I don't think it's fair to say the guy can't coach, because there's obviously a reason he keeps getting hired. That's not necessarily mean he's at the top of his profession by any means, but there's a reason he keeps getting jobs, right? I mean, Belichick's no idiot. And again, it didn't work out at Arkansas.
Seemingly Judge isn't an idiot either.
I'm not going to lie to you and say he was a great coach at Arkansas, because that's false. But he keeps getting jobs, so sometimes it's just not a good fit. And it wasn't a good fit. It looked like at one point, like you're saying, it looked like a good fit. It didn't end up being a good fit, and he got lazy.
877-377-6963. You happy for Brett Bielema? Are you happy for Chad Morris now that he's calling plays against you? We'll come back more halftime on this Wet Wednesday, so don't go anywhere.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Hello, would you like me to find workout classes near you?
There are no stores that sell glasses within 10 miles of your location.
There's enough artificial in the world. That's why Michelob Ultra is brewed with no artificial colors or flavors. With just 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 grams carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0.0 grams fat per 12 ounces.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches, like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana, or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
What matters most to your family can now cost less when you choose comfortable, reliable, and efficient natural gas heating, water heating, cooking, and clothes drying for your home. You make the right choice in today's environment. High-efficiency natural gas appliances can reduce your monthly costs. And right now, you can save even more with heating and water heating rebates from AOG. Visit AOGC.com today and get more comfort for less cost.
Edwards Auto Center in Roland has a newly remodeled facility with a greater selection of vehicles, and you will enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure sales experience. If your credit score has been an issue, Edwards' signature Buy Here, Pay Here program is a part of their superior customer service. Some restrictions may apply. Edwards has helped folks achieve their dreams of auto ownership and providing quality used vehicles for more than 30 years. Visit the newly remodeled Edwards Auto Center 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge. The first car dealer on the right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
An increase in the cloud cover tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the middle to upper 20s. We'll see a slight chance of some light freezing rain early on Wednesday. A better chance of rain and some freezing rain or sleet Wednesday afternoon. High temperatures in the middle to upper 30s. And for Thursday, occasional rain, upper 30s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on at oge.com.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
You guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a 3 with 0.1 seconds to play. Prayer answered.
But hold on. It's almost halftime.
We are officially on the way towards the weekend now. 1 o'clock on a Wednesday on halftime. It is still wet outside, but the roads are clear no matter where you're driving, at least on the interstate. So that's good news. Again, I find this iDrive Arkansas app that is put out by the Arkansas Department of Transportation is a very useful tool this time of the year. So you can just go to the website or the app, and I think it'll help keep you safe on a day like this. All right, 877-377-6963. We'd asked before going into the break if you can be happy for former Arkansas head coaches that have taken jobs elsewhere. And, we ask about Bobby Petrino, we ask about Brett Bielema, and we ask about Chad Morris. Don't you feel that they're a totally separate thing from Mike Anderson, which always felt like it was one of your own as the head coach at Arkansas? So he leaves Arkansas, and it felt like everybody that at least had accepted that he wasn't going to be the head coach with the Razorbacks, even his biggest supporters that were angry at the university, and the people who just wanted to see him gone for the last couple of years. Once he took that job at St. John's, it was almost like a collective relief. You didn't want his coaching career to end. You wanted to see if he could create that magic somewhere else. So I would take Bielema, Morris, and Petrino. I'd put Petrino in a category completely by himself. I think with Chad Morris, too. So I guess I could separate all three of the football coaches. But you put Mike Anderson in a completely different category. It's not like, are you happy for him? Of course you're happy for him. The answers come in a little bit mixed for the football coaches.
Yeah, if you're going to rank the four who you're most happiest for, this, in my opinion, is the order. If you want to put in your order, you're welcome to. Obviously, Mike's the clear number one. You're just the happiest for him. He didn't leave on bad terms necessarily. There's not many people that hated Mike Anderson when he left. In fact, I'd be seldom to find people that hated Mike Anderson when he left, because that's just not the case. But then probably second is Petrino, third is Bielema, fourth is Morris. There's just not a lot of good things that came out of Morris's tenure outside of this past recruiting class. And the recruiting class didn't hold a lot of weight because you still went 2-10. Bobby Petrino has the two of the best seasons in Arkansas history that he has in his holsters. And you're like, yes, his tenure ended in one of the weirdest, oddest, most Arkansas ways possible, and he lied, and he did things that could have got the university sued in just a number of different areas, but you still had the good times. It's kind of like, here's what I equate it to. We always talk about on this show how you take a championship even if the implications came out later that you were caught cheating or whatever, because at the time, it was awesome. You know what you did on the field. You know what you were able to accomplish during that time period. Well, the same could be said about Bobby Petrino. During the time period of 2010, 2011, you had an incredible bowl appearance in the BCS Bowl, in the Sugar Bowl. You lost to Ohio State. And then you won the Cotton Bowl the following year. Only two teams you lost to were in the national championship. So you know what you saw from him as a coach on the field. Would it have lasted? Probably not. But just like it was just for like USC and different other teams that have gotten sanctions and gotten their championships and everything else yanked away from them, you know what you saw on the field. You know what you saw from Bobby Petrino as a head coach. The aftermath, it's a big deal, but it doesn't matter. For the most part, most people are more concerned with what he did on the field, and that's what they look to before compared to after, Phil.
877-377-6963. Some reactions to that question. Heath in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, says it's hard not to still be hurt over Bielema, with the Hogs being the butt of the joke to Wisconsin fans up there. So I mean, he's right in the heart of it there in Badger country. So I'm sure to Heath, it's he's still, as he says, butthurt about Brett Bielema, and he's become more of a punchline to Wisconsin fans, as that program is kind of remained at the exact same level from where Bielema left it. Chandler in Fayetteville says he forgave Brett. Feels like he got caught up with having a kid, and around that time is when they went downhill. There were some other things going on aside from just the kid, because that wasn't right when things started to fall apart. It was a little bit after that. And he does say about Chad Morris, no, forget about it. He calls him a true fraud. Josefa is happy for Bielema. Always loved the guy. Happy for Morris because different reasons. He thinks Arkansas eventually will whoop Chad Morris, Gus Malzahn, and the Auburn Tigers. Well, good luck, because we know how that's gone the last couple of years. Not very well at all.
Yeah, Arkansas has not had success lately against Auburn, that's for sure.
By the way, Mike Anderson's team not doing so well. 1-6 in the Big East, St. John's. 12-8 overall, but in 10th place in the Big East. They've dropped 3 games in a row and just got trounced by Marquette on the road by 14 points. So not a great first season so far for Mike Anderson at St. John's. And they were an NCAA tournament team last year under Chris Mullen. All right, let's get to some keys for Arkansas basketball tonight. 6 o'clock tip, 5:30 with Chuck and Z on the call. You'll hear it right here on your ESPN Arkansas affiliate. And Ty makes a good point here defensively, and this might be difficult against Mississippi State at home. If you can hold them to 72 points or fewer, you get a win. They're 13-0 when holding opponents to 72 points or fewer. And that's been, kind of looking like almost a magic number for Mississippi State. In their 3 conference losses, scored no more than 69. And in the 2 conference wins, they've scored 72 and 91. And the 72 and 91 is coming back-to-back performances. So you're catching Mississippi State at a bad time. And it'll be their 3rd consecutive home game. And 72 point, that's a good threshold, Ty. I think this one will hold water for this game tonight. If Arkansas can keep them to 71, they probably get a win.
I didn't have a lot of positivity heading into the Indiana game. Arkansas came out in that second half and really outplayed the Hoosiers, and I was shocked like so many fans because of just how they were able to turn it around, holding Jackson Davis to 4 points in the second half. And it seems like there's a little bit of negativity heading into this game tonight based on how you lost to Kentucky, based on Mississippi State has been playing. But I actually feel pretty good tonight, Phil. We'll get into our predictions later in the program, but I think that Arkansas is going to come out and they're going to be mentally focused. Yes, the odds are stacked against you when you look at the rebounding numbers compared to Arkansas, where Arkansas struggles, where Mississippi State thrives. But I think Eric Musselman, like you said, he's preached over and over and over. You got to move on to the next game. You got to move on to the next game. And we've seen a number of second-half adjustments from this basketball team this season. You didn't really see it as much in the Kentucky game. You saw it more when Tony Barbie implemented that zone as the Kentucky assistant, and Katie Payne, who was at the time acting as head coach, really got them to thrive in that. And Arkansas was out-coached at the end of that ball game. But you hope that Ben Howland, and when Eric Musselman square off tonight, that Eric Musselman can diagnose what he sees in the first half. Him and his assistants come together, Williams, Mosier, and Crutchfield, and they decide, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what's working for them. This is how we need to prohibit that. Whether it's front of the post, whether it's more 5-guard lineup, whatever the case may be, you hope the adjustments are there like they have been at times this season, Phil.
You feel like this is almost a Kentucky junior game, because Kentucky has the same size. They're much more dynamic than Mississippi State, have better guard play. But one of the things that Kentucky does best is rebound, and that's what Mississippi State does best. One of the things Kentucky was having trouble with coming into last Saturday's game was holding onto the ball and losing it on steals and turnovers. That's been Mississippi State's big bugaboo. In fact, they have the worst turnover margin in the SEC at negative 1.4. And, of course, what does Arkansas do well, better than anybody in the SEC, is win the turnover battle. So, again, it's how you mitigate your weaknesses. You know you're going to lose the rebounding battle. That just seems to be a fact going into almost every game, is by how much can you lose the rebounding battle and still mitigate that by forcing turnovers and creating points off those turnovers.
It's like
that's the key to Arkansas, but of course the key to creating points off turnovers is hitting your shots.
Yeah.
And Mason and Isaiah are going to have to get going.
No, you're exactly right. Mason Jones and Isaiah Jones really have to heat up, and you're going to hopefully get a couple threes from Jalen Harris, Desi Sills, and whoever else is in that ball game, Phil. And it's kind of like when you're trying to ask out a drop-dead gorgeous girl. You may not be the best-looking guy, but you make up for it with personality. You make up for it with being confident in a number of different other ways. You just got to do it.
Keep telling yourself that, Ty. Yeah. The next time you're at Z's on Dixon, you just keep telling yourself that. It is true, though.
Where are we going this weekend, by the way?
I don't know.
10 seconds. You got to
is
decide
it Friday
about that.
night or is it Saturday
Friday
night? It's going to be up to you because we're going to the TCU game and sitting up there in the corner. 877-377-6963. Where are we going to go this weekend? Tell us right after the break.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com. This is the Morning Rush.
That's what I always find fascinating about not just media but fans. The guy sitting in section 212, upper deck corner, third row from the top. He is certain the guy that is 4 feet from the play on the floor has missed it when he's 3 rows from the top in the corner. Officiating is all about angles.
I mean, what better angle do you need than up there? You can see the whole thing, Tommy. You can see all of it from up there.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
The Winter Upgrade event is your perfect time to get cool seasonal savings and exceptional factory incentives at Road Chevrolet. Like a new 20 Chevy Equinox front-wheel drive LT as low as $25,708, or save up to $14,000 on a new 19 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT at Road Chevrolet, conveniently located at exit 2A off I-540 in Van Buren, or roadchevy.com. Chevy, find new roads. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. See dealer for details. Expires 2/3/20.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there is a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Big ribs are back at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith for a limited time. Get slow cooked, fall off the bone tender, big pork ribs for only $12.99 a rack. Your choice, whiskey glazed or barbecue, served with seasoned fries and coleslaw. Only $12.99 for a full rack of big ribs, fries, and coleslaw. Hurry in because these big ribs won't last long. Big ribs are back, only $12.99 at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Well, another decade has come and gone, and the year 2020 is here to stay a bit. Why not start another year with a brand new IP phone system from Pinnacle Telecom? And better yet, how about if it cost you nothing on the front end? That's right. To celebrate a new decade, Pinnacle Telecom will waive the installation costs for all cloud-based hosted IP phone systems. Pair this system with Pinnacle's fast fiber internet, and your business is ready for the future. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com or give us a call today, 479-242-0000.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every
Look your
time.
best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through cover drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Silly!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Beard, Gafford, buckle up!
The sound of Tom Hart. Was that a Tom Hart call?
That was a Tom Hart call.
That was from a. Was that who dunked it? Was that a Gafford dunk?
Gafford dunk, yeah.
Did you see Tom Hart's going to be calling XFL games pretty soon?
That's awesome. Good for him.
That is. Cole Kubelik's doing the same thing. I know the two of them work together on the SEC network, so maybe. And we've done a little bit of XFL talk here and there. Not like I'm going to be watching these games. But I'd be interested to see what Tom thinks about it because they've got some interesting ideas. And there's an interesting idea that again, I'm not watching the Pro Bowl, but there's it's evidence that football eventually is going to be doing away with the kickoff. I mean that's what they're trying to do by testing the rule or the new onside kick. From what do I understand about this onside kick that they'll debut in the Pro Bowl? A game that never needed an onside kick if you ever saw it. It's like a 4th and 15 from deep in your own territory, which essentially feels like an onside kick too. But, with the onside kick rules changing so much these last couple of years, the success rate has dipped tremendously to where it's not even worth trying any longer, even if you're Kevin Kelly and Pulaski Academy. So... do you think they're eventually going to we'll be watching football with 0 kickoffs?
I think from the safety standpoint, and again, I don't get into the analytics, and I was kind of shocked and stuff when they started taking away and doing away with the wedge and stuff like that, because maybe it's just me not trying to pay attention to that stuff, but I don't remember a lot of kickoff injuries and different injuries and onside kicks and stuff. That just didn't, and again, I wasn't paying attention, so maybe I didn't notice it as much as I would have if I was particularly looking at that specific thing. But it seems like that's the direction we're headed, and that's the direction that some people are okay with and some people are not. And I know there's data to back up the collisions and stuff like that, and the injuries that are less and less. But I feel like you have to have them, but I get the reasoning behind it. It's a combination of both. I'm straddling the fence a little bit, Phil.
Some little interesting rule tweaks for the games that we do watch. I think eventually, don't you think basketball eventually will add a 4-point shot? Something that comes from half court at least. I think one of the 3-on-3 leagues does a 4-point shot.
Do.
Wasn't that the one that Ice Cube runs? The Big Three?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that. So it's pretty cool. It makes it entertaining, and it never keeps you out of the game. And obviously, if you get fouled, there's the potential of a 5-point play as well. I as a guy that can shoot long range, I enjoy that idea. I don't know if I can shoot 4-point shots on the reg like those guys typically do, and some of those professional players can do it with ease, but I think it just adds some intrigue to the game. But the only thing that you'd be worried about as an NBA or college basketball or even high school basketball fan is when you have kids not just pulling up from 30 now they're pulling up from 35 feet because they think they're Steph Curry, and not everyone is Steph Curry. There's a reason that he transformed the game that we've never seen anything like it before, because he's so unique, he's so himself, he's changed the way basketball has been played with how he's gone about it. And so that's the thing that worries me. If you do try and add that to the game, that you're going to see less driving, you're just going to see more jacks, and I don't think that's going to be good for scoring in the long run, Phil.
877-377-6963 to get with us today. So I saw this on social media, and there's such an excitement surrounding Arkansas basketball right now, and part of that is because Eric Musselman, his coaching staff, the players get involved in it really more, and you can see that on Twitter apparently more than any other program in the country right now. And I forget the name of the company that comes out with this. What is it? Skull Sparks?
Skull Sparks, correct.
That actually tracks all of the social media interactions so I guess that would be likes and retweets. So we're specifically looking at Twitter here. And there were more social media interactions involving the Razorback basketball Twitter account than any other program in the country. That would be for the week of January 13th through the 19th. Do you want to put some of that on Kentucky because it was Kentucky and the excitement surrounding it? Because I don't think that was a small part of it.
Yeah, and I think it's partially to that, but I also think if you look at, they also release the IMG numbers, and Arkansas is consistently in the top 10, even with 2 past dreadful football seasons. Basketball-wise, you have a tremendous fan base. Baseball's the same thing. It's consistently that number. And one of the benefits of being the big dog in your state, where it seems like 90-something% of the population is a Razorback fan, that you get most of the attention, whether it's via social media, whether it's listening on the radio, whether it's watching it on TV. Yes, we've talked about there are cons to living in Arkansas when it comes to recruiting and basketball, football, not necessarily baseball, or not really basketball either anymore, but there's cons just like there is instead of living in like bigger states. But I think with everyone focused on that adds to the idea. Now, I know there's probably not a ton of recruits and a ton of people that paid attention to what Skull Sparks leaks, but I guarantee you, Phil, that if you look at how many people saw the different highlights of John Cal getting ejected this weekend, and the fan base and the commits that were there and stuff, talking to their buddies, and that just word travels about that. I think it's just the fanatic side of Razorback fans is evident. Now, this can be good and bad in some cases, as we've seen on social media.
Yeah,
but I
this
think
works
it's
2 ways.
Yeah, but I also think it's beneficial when you look at it from the good perspective of how passionate fans are. Commits see that. High school kids see that. They're like, man, what will happen if this team, like for basketball, as example, this weekend, not ranked, competing at least for the SEC, and these kids are like, man, what will happen if I come here and they're ranked? How crazy is this atmosphere going to get? Same with baseball. Like baseball, there's a reason. Like, is it Robert Moore? Or is it Dayton Moore? I always switch them. The kid
Robert Moore is the son. Dayton Moore is the father.
Okay, so Robert, I think he told Matt Jones this of Whole Hog. I was reading Clay Henry's piece, talked about one of the reasons that he chose Arkansas is because Baum Stadium has a football-type atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Because of Arkansas fans, Phil. And it helps when you have a really stinking good baseball team.
You know, and we should also thank social media, because without Twitter, we wouldn't have known that Dave Van Horn was waving goodbye and shouting something towards John Calipari. So thank you very much.
What is your first assignment, Phil, when you see him? You ask him to
ask him, what did you say? What were you shouting?
Yeah.
And see if I can get him to repeat those very words.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I can do that sometime this week, since I'm up in Fayetteville and the team is is practicing.
I wonder if he'll be like, all right, this is off the record, and then he'll actually tell you, or if he'll genuinely tell you what he said. It could be like the most boring things. It could be just like, see ya, or it could be something highly entertaining. I'm hoping for the latter, Phil.
I think there's going to be a new Baum Stadium sign, or Baum Walker Stadium sign. You know, the one that went on the opposite side of the batter's eye in center field that said, home of Razorback baseball, Baum Stadium. It's not there any longer. Okay. Along with 2/3 of Norm's Lagoon, the lake isn't there anymore. I think there's a little piece of it left because construction has started there, but I think that there'll be a little more window dressing on the stadium because it's got the new name, and quite honestly, some of the signage around the stadium needs to be window dressed a little bit better. So I think it's going to have a brighter look.
I wonder if the baseball players are a little disappointed in the fact that they're shrinking the lake. So for those who don't know, I know my buddy from high school, Josh Alberius, who's on the team, they love fishing down there. Like a lot of the baseball players.
Well, Alberius could fish in like a cup of water.
Yeah, that's fair. He loves his fish. I know Blaine Knight and some of the other guys just like going out there and fishing stuff. I'm wondering if that's going to be impacted by the construction and them kind of restructuring.
Oh yeah, you're not fishing in this thing, Josh.
Yeah.
It's not happening. You're going to have to find a stream just downwind, which of course up in Fayetteville there's streams everywhere. But
Yeah.
It's true. Josh would go fishing everywhere we went. So would Blaine, Matt Cronin too. I mean so I guess these are pretty good ball players. Fishing and baseball do go together. Something to talk with Clay about next week, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You just want to find whatever puts you at peace before game. Like I told you when I was in high school before our soccer games, we'd go hit golf balls at a local country club. Now, we weren't members, but we would just go and hit. And that just, like, put us at peace. And I don't know. It was just it was kind of part of a ritual and everything, Phil.
W and Wicks texted in about the Twitter interactions. And I think he takes some umbrage with my thoughts that the Kentucky game was a major part of it. And I do think it was. He said if it was all about Kentucky, their Twitter would be the highest on the list. No, that Kentucky would have more interactions than Arkansas.
Why is that so hard for people to comprehend? And I know I got eviscerated for defending Dickie V, and I wasn't. Again, I told you I wasn't going to rip him because he gave us the time of day. And I took issue with his second and third tweets, kind of like he wouldn't give Arkansas credit, and then he eventually did, either right before the game or after the game. But I just don't understand. Like, you can't put it in your brain that because Kentucky came together, that's the biggest game of the year. Period. They will not have a bigger raucous atmosphere than what they had on Saturday. It's not to diminish what Arkansas fans brought, because I was there, I experienced it. But it's still Kentucky. Like, you will not have a better atmosphere the rest of the way this season. You mind in future years. That's just, I mean, that's
well, what are the rest
why
of
is
your
that hard
sellouts?
to comprehend?
TCU this weekend is a sellout. Mississippi State on Saturday the 15th of February is a sellout. February 22nd, Missouri is a sellout. But those are all, the Mississippi State and Missouri games are noon tip-offs. So are we going to, that's the same idea as what? A noon kickoff for football. It's pretty tough to get everybody there on time because they all went out the night before on Dixon Street. TCU, what's tip-off this weekend? Is it 3 o'clock?
Yeah, 3
o'clock.
o'clock.
No, because we're airing the game on this very station.
Yeah, 2:30 airtime to 2:30 pregame here on ESPN Arkansas.
Okay. All right, good. So, yeah, and I agree. You're not going to have the same atmosphere. It's just a fact. You'll have the same amount of people, but it's going to be really difficult to create the same atmosphere. But that's what I challenged you to do yesterday on the whole Get Off My Lawn. Forget about the Kentucky atmosphere. Do the same thing with TCU in town. Then do it again and do it again. Don't make it about the opponent. Make it about the team you're rooting for. Bill King for a college football chat right after this.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expedition with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes, only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s, over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren. Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. We love it when a new year rolls around. It's a clean slate and a chance to start over. Who doesn't love that? We want to help you make 2020 your year. Come in, share your goals with us, and we'll help you achieve them. Not only do we have the best running products, but we have the know-how, the connections, and events to get you started and keep you going. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for all the fun happenings at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
What's your family's security worth to you? Have you put off adding a security system to your home for another year? Or are you just waiting for someone to break in to be that final straw? Use your income tax return to add a security system to your home for as little as $495 and $15.95 a month. Guardtronic has a package to help secure your home. Call today for a free estimate, 479-785-2323, or visit the website, guardtronic.com. License EO50.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. All right.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Just saw an interesting piece on ESPN right now, and I want to get Bill King's reaction to something that involves baseball, but we can translate it into football. Spring training baseball games are going to use robot umpires to call balls and strikes. That coming from Commissioner Rob Manfred during an interview on the Fox Business Network. So Major League Baseball is moving pretty quickly to those robot umps eventually appearing in regular season games. So, Bill, I mean, we talk football with you, and this is the direction that sports are going in. It's happening really quickly in baseball. But do you think there'll be a point where there are, I don't know if robot is the right word, but a camera-based officiating system for college football and the NFL?
Oh, boy. I think we're still, I mean, maybe I'm naive. I think we're still a ways to go there. But eventually, yeah, I would think so. And I guess we'll all adjust to it when it becomes normal. I won't like it in the beginning because I like the drama of the humanness of the calls, frankly. I think it adds spikes to the game. It also makes people mad. But for the world you and I live in, we work in, having the human element's better. What are we going to do now? Complain about a robot? Is that where the show's going? 10 years from now? Is that what we're... it's hard to imagine.
That's exactly the direction I was gonna take it, because Manfred says this will reduce all kinds of controversy. And for us in talk radio, it's like no, we need this controversy. We've got to have things to complain about, and officiating's always at the top of the list.
Everything going perfectly, nicely, cleanly is not good. So I'm against it.
Okay, let's get to some of the stuff involving some of the coaching changes right now. Dave Aranda to Baylor. I know we'd heard that Aranda had been looking at some other possibilities. I think UNLV. Did I see something about Hawaii? But He's taking a program at Baylor that is in great position left under Matt Rule. Do you think he can take them to higher levels?
Well, I don't know about higher levels. I don't know if you can get them past, let's say, Oklahoma, which is ruling that league, but you can win a lot of games there, and several coaches have done it. Coach Briles did it before the complete disaster that happened, and then, of course, Matt Rule did it. So, yes, now we have not seen him head coach yet, and that's something that's unclear, but I think he's ready for this next step. He's done all he can do. He was already noted as one of the top 2 or 3 defensive coordinators in the game. He was already making somewhere around $2.5 million. So this is a very natural progression. And Baylor's got lots of money, too, so you got resources.
You know, of course, up until this past season, LSU was more known for their defensive success under Aranda than anything that they did offensively, and a sort of flip-flop this year. Those, I think you could point to the championship game as evidence that Aranda still had as much of an impact as any of the other coaches. But with Brady leaving, with Aranda leaving, is this something that can really hurt LSU, or is this the case where they can kind of keep going at this level?
Well, you're gonna have a fallback of some sort. You got to go get 2 new coordinators. I'm sure they'll be good coaches, but you got to get 2 new ones. So there's a transition there. Pretty much everybody that could have turned pro, other than Jacoby Stevens on defense, turned pro. So you're losing a ton of talent at running back, or your top running back in general, the superstar quarterback that you can't replace, and a big chunk of your defense. They'll be good next year, but it might be 9-3, 8-4 good. It won't be like Alabama losing all that they typically lose and still competing for national championship. They'll have to take a bigger step back.
Talking with Bill King, College Football, Nashville Sports Radio. Bill, what was your initial reaction when you heard the reports confirmed that Felipe Franks was going to Arkansas?
Unmoved. He's a very erratic quarterback. He's a big 6'6", 250-pounder that can run around some. And it's just maybe a new location. Now he was playing pretty well the year that he played, the full year that he played under Mullen. He looked improved. I got to give him that. He did look like the time spent under a brilliant coach, offensive coach, quarterback guy like Mullen did help him.
Mm-hmm.
But once he got injured and Kyle Trask went in, a guy who never ever started a game in high school because of De'Ara King, he was never going to get that job back. It's not even worth the debate. It's not even worth you coming back in the spring for. He's got a lot to prove to me, is I guess, my response.
Bill, other quarterback news, Brock Vandergrip has committed to the University of Georgia. I know that he was originally committed to Oklahoma, if I remember that correctly, and then backed off his commitment. What does that mean for just college football as well as him, because he's a 5-star quarterback, and how does that affect the rest of really just the SEC?
Well, there for a little bit, maybe a split moment, Georgia was in panic mode at quarterback. They've got nobody that could step in after Jake Fromm that's currently either on the roster or coming in. This Carson Beck kid that got out of Jacksonville, who's the quarterback in this class of 20, probably not ready. And they just recruited over him in Brock Vandegrift, who's a big-time 5-star dual threat, got a beautiful arm there in the state of Georgia. So they go from what are we going to do to Jamie Newman's coming in, who's already listed as the 3rd best pro prospect in next year's class that can turn pro. And now you have a 5-star who can come in, and as we know, freshman quarterbacks are adapting quicker than ever before. Maybe he takes that job in the next spring or something. He's that kind of talent.
Bill, we heard yesterday about Gus Malzahn handing the keys to the offense fully to Chad Morris. Yeah. He's going to be calling the plays as the offensive coordinator. People would say, well, Arkansas fans know what that's about. It's like, no, he didn't call the plays here. He left it up to Joe Craddock, but this does seem to be, why would you hire Chad Morris and not have him call the plays as the OC? That's what he's supposed to do so well. Yeah,
he is. That's his PhD. Man, as we talked about a million times, I followed it from Tulsa to Taj Boyd, and that's what kick-started his career. He's really good at that. And if Gus does not meddle, I think they'll be better off offensively with Chad Morris. Look, I'm going to tell your audience, I know Arkansas had something that they needed to do, and they needed to make a change, and I respect that. And sometimes teams don't make changes, quick enough and they get critiqued. So I'm not critiquing. I still think he can be a good head coach. I do. I think obviously things did not work out at Arkansas, and I can't sit here and defend it, but I think that guy's a good coach. And I think the Arkansas lesson will probably help him wherever else he ends up down the road. But first and foremost, to get to your point, he is a very good offensive coordinator and play caller and quarterback guy. Very good.
Well, I mean, nobody would have thought after Ed Orgeron's first time as a head coach blows up at Ole Miss that he turns into a national championship coach. And it's not to say that wherever Chad Morris goes next, if he does get an opportunity, he's going to be a head coach. But, I mean, coaches get second chances for a reason sometimes because they're really, really good at something.
Yeah, and I know him some. I don't know him well, but we've communicated, and I think that's the way he's looking at things, too. I really do. And this will be a good experience. Let's face it, Auburn hasn't been all that consistent offensively since Cam Newton. They were good when they went to more of a running attack because they had running quarterback at 13. They got all the way to the championship, got about a minute away from winning it. But typically they've been inconsistent offensively. Bo Nix is obviously the future. He started immediately. We know that. And I think this year, those two together, that could be really interesting for Auburn. But and got to remember, Georgia hired Todd Monken, too. Todd Monken's claim to fame, other than coaching in the NFL, having the Southern Miss job, he was the coach at Oklahoma State in 2011 when Oklahoma State only lost one game. They won Bedlam, which they never do typically. And they had the biggest beef as to why have the LSU-Alabama rematch. We're sitting here and we play offense. And he was the guy leading that offense that year. So I think that's a very good addition to Georgia, too.
So we asked a question earlier, and we got about a minute here for your answer. We asked a question earlier about would you be happy for Chad Morris taking a job at Auburn or just getting a job somewhere? We asked the same thing about Brett Bielema, it brings up some ideas about how fan bases feel about failed head coaches. So my question to you, and I would just ask for 3 different fan bases, who dislikes this coach more? Alabama, Mike Shula; Willie Taggart, Florida State; Nebraska, Bill Callahan. Have at it.
Oh, I would have to think Bill Callahan. Bama fans don't hate Mike Shula. He just wasn't. He played there. I mean, he's one of theirs. They don't now. They hated the results, but no, they don't hate him at all. And who was the other? Arkansas, Brett Bielema.
Well, it was Taggart and Florida State, and then I thought it'd be Callahan in Nebraska because he trashed their tradition in a lot of ways.
Correct. He went to the chuck and duck offensively. He stripped them of their football soul. Remember, they had to hire Dr. Tom to come back to be the AD, and his first order of business is meeting, you're fired. He was terrible. Terrible.
Bill, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of the week.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
One and only Bill King. You can hear him 6 to 9, Nashville Sports Radio. Yeah, I remember reading about the stuff that Bill Callahan did as the head coach at Nebraska, and that included taking all of the photos of their legendary players off the walls in the offices.
What?
Have fun, and get off my lawn at the same time. We'll come back. We'll close out shop with a cherry on the top of halftime right after this.
Missed a segment or interview? Check out the Halftime Pod at hitthatline.com.
The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expedition with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes, only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s, over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
It's a new year, a time for fresh starts and positive changes. Let us help your vehicle reflect your good vibes by making it look its best. If you find yourself a victim of the winter weather, we will work with your insurance company and help you throughout the process. We offer a lifetime warranty and a complete interior detail with all repairs. We can quickly restore cloudy headlights, making them look like new and brightening your road for better vision on these dark winter nights. Think of us at Evans Body Shop when you need any auto body repairs.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
The new year is here, and Art's Barbecue and Burgers is ready with healthy choices on their menu. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has smoked chicken that will melt in your mouth, a variety of salads to choose from, plus a grilled chicken breast that's always a smart option.
and use the Waiter app to have the full menu at Art's Barbecue and Burgers brought to your home or business. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, giving you healthy choices to start the new year off right. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Aaron's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Edwards Auto Center in Roland has a newly remodeled facility with a greater selection of vehicles, and you will enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure sales experience. If your credit score has been an issue, Edwards' signature Buy Here, Pay Here program is a part of their superior customer service. Some restrictions may apply. Edwards has helped folks achieve their dreams of auto ownership and providing quality used vehicles for more than 30 years. Visit the newly remodeled Edwards Auto Center 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge. The first car dealer on the right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Kevin Hickey Law has a great team of people who are dedicated to your legal cares. Kevin Hickey's law team is made up of experienced, caring individuals centered around divorce, child and custody, DHS matters, and more, serving the Fort Smith area and Northwest Arkansas. Make the right decision. Call Kevin Hickey Law at 479-434-2414, and for Northwest Arkansas, 479-802-6560, or the web at kevinhickeylaw.com, where our clients are our main priority from start to finish.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is it time for a new printer? When looking for that new printer, you'll consider the new technology available, but also reliability, quality, cost, and access to service and supplies are important. With eConcierge from Dixie Digital and Xerox, you get free lifetime service coverage for your eligible Xerox printers, plus an easy way to order toner and ink. For more information, call Dixie Digital Imaging at 783-6600 or visit our website at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Only the best vehicles make it to the inventory at Hertz Car Sales. When you buy from Hertz, you know you're getting a high-quality car, SUV, or truck. The sales staff takes the time to get to know you and what you're looking for and will work hard to match you up with the perfect vehicle. You'll find that your experience at Hertz is easy and affordable as you drive away in your late-model, low-mileage vehicle. So what are you waiting for? Come on over to Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. Give them a call today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
2020 annual tickets are available at Ben Guerin Golf Course. 18-hole green fees as low as $11.66 per round on a regular unlimited plan. And seniors, juniors, and veterans can play as low as $10.58 per round on the same plan. 18-hole green fee with cart as low as $22.50 per round on an unlimited plan with cart. And seniors, juniors, and veterans can play as low as $20.83 on the same plan. Book your corporate and charitable outings now at Ben Guerin Golf Course.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
From Fort Smith, from Pine Bluff, from all four corners of the natural state, college baseball's Emerald City is the destination. A bright red Razorback caravan is headed to Nebraska, and this time we're coming for the whole damn thing.
23 days until you can hear the start of Razorback baseball season right here on your ESPN Arkansas affiliate. Closing out our show today with a cherry on the top. We are brought to you by a new sponsor, Baxter Regional Medical Care. They have created a brand new app, the Baxter Regional Care app, that you can download to your phone, your tablet, or your computer. Will offer you access to 24-hour medical professionals who can access, diagnose, and treat your condition, as well as prescribe medication if needed. And each visit is just $69. The Baxter Regional Care app is free in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. You can also go to baxterregionalcare.com to download the app. It's the Baxter Regional Care app, your 24-hour on-demand doctor. All right, I guess, Ty, our predictions for this game today are Change My Mind. Am I correct?
Yeah, either way. You want to do both? You want to do one? Good either way.
I think it's the same thing, really, because I'm getting the sense that you and I might feel a little bit differently about the outcome of the game tonight.
I changed my mind.
Hi, Joey.
Hey, how you doing?
He won't sell anybody out to buy his future.
How can you be so obtuse? What did you call me? Obtuse. Is it deliberate? Son, you're forgetting yourself.
Change my mind.
877-377-6963 if you want to get us a prediction. And I'm already... Hey, we were asking for a nickname for the Kansas fight. And the winners are Jason in Frankfort, Kentucky, Sunflower Scrum, and Clay Henry. We're going to split it. We'll be like the New York Times with their presidential thing they did the other day. And Clay Henry, who said, "Oh no, Toto." I love the both of them. So you change my mind about either one of those, but good luck with that. I would also say that, Ty, I think you're predicting an Arkansas win. Am I correct?
Yeah, and I haven't okay. So in tougher games, I haven't picked I just had a gut feeling. I had a pin in my stomach that they weren't going to beat Kentucky, and it wasn't because of what Arkansas has done this season, Phil. It's that if you go back and look at Cal's performances after losses at Kentucky in conference play, you don't find many losses. You don't find many repeats. You don't find 2 in a row. And that's why I felt that Kentucky was going to come in and win that ball game. And I said by 7 or 6, they ended up winning by 7. So I think I was pretty close. But despite the glaring deficiencies that Arkansas is going to face on the glass tonight, despite Mississippi State playing pretty well as of late, I just have this good feeling. Not in the pit of my stomach, but I guess it's I don't know what a good feeling is in my stomach, but I just think they're going to pull it out tonight. Now, it's going to be close. I don't think they are going to be able to blow them out by any stretch of the imagination, but I hope that this team can turn Mississippi State over and then keep the ball on the other end, not be careless when they have the basketball. And I just think they're going to win tonight. I don't know why.
There's going to be 2 things they'll need to do. I think Jimmy Witt's going to have some trouble scoring, and you saw that against Kentucky, a team that put 6'10", 6'11" on them. I think Mississippi State will do the same and take away some of that mid-range game that Witt's been so dangerous with. So in order to score, I think Arkansas is going to have to create fast break opportunities off turnovers and beat Mississippi State to the floor. Otherwise, I think it's going to be difficult to score in the paint. And from the inside of scoring on the fast break, the outside of hitting the 3-point shot. And this is going to be what Arkansas needs to beat the good teams, the good teams, the almost guaranteed NCAA tournament teams. Although I don't think Mississippi State is a guaranteed NCAA tournament team. I think eventually they'll trend towards that direction. But to beat Florida on the road, to be able to beat Auburn, even though Auburn has been stinking the joint out of late.
Did they lose again, or they play tonight?
I think, I had my schedule up here, so let me pull it up. I think they were on the schedule for tonight.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
I'll look into that. But to finish out my thought, I mean, Arkansas needs points from Isaiah Joe. And if Isaiah is going to score, you know where it's coming from. It's coming from the outside. That's where most of his shots come from. Mason Jones, it needs to be not just a ball distributor. It's all nice and good with Mason dishing out 7 assists against Ole Miss, 9 assists against Vanderbilt. But what about 25 points for Mason Jones? Doesn't that always make a difference?
Yeah.
When a guy like Mason is shooting the 3, creating off the dribble, and doing what he's done at special moments this year. I just wonder if tonight's that night. You know, let's put it this way. I don't have the best feeling about this game either. And more than anything, it's because it's on the road. I know. Look, Arkansas has played well enough to pick up some tough road victories at Indiana, at Ole Miss when you were behind. This team came so close on the road against LSU. And, oh, by the way, hasn't LSU won 22 of their last 24 league games? And to come within a single possession of that game says you've got the as my baseball partner Bubba Carpenter likes to say, the intestinal fortitude to put a good performance together on the road. So, I mean, you're going to see great effort. I think this team will play pretty solid defense. I just wonder if there are enough points on the road, if there are enough shots to be made. You would like to think, Joe and Jones aren't going to have too many games where they are both off like they were against Kentucky, right?
And you still managed to stay within 7 of that basketball game, which is surprising me. And you were mentioning the road woes that Arkansas has had where they haven't necessarily the best. But, I mean, I kind of look at it the opposite way. I look at it as glass half full. The fact that they have one overtime loss on the road in conference play, and now, one 2-point loss in conference play to LSU, and then one overtime loss to Western Kentucky. In both those games, they had a chance to win. They probably should have won the Western Kentucky game, and they at least had a chance to win the LSU game. So I look at what they've been able to do on the road. Yes, you're not going to be as good on the road as you are at home in Bud Walton Arena, but they've at least competed, and they've at least given themselves a chance to win. And I think the second half adjustments, as I mentioned in segment number 1, Eric Musselman has been really good at a bunch of those this season. You didn't see him in the Kentucky game, unfortunately. That's more the latter part of the second half. They look better at the beginning part of the second half. But hopefully he and his staff will be able to just figure out what's going on, what Mississippi State's doing right, what they can improve on, and then just completely flip the script in the second half. And I just hope I hope the tiredness doesn't play. I hope the rotation's fresh tonight, and I hope that they just come out and honestly get a dub tonight, Phil.
Well, I think Mississippi State's got to have some toughness to them as well because they played LSU within a point in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They lost 3 games in a row before this back-to-back victories against Missouri and Georgia. So, yes, the Hogs have been tough. I think that's been evident, but I think Mississippi State is a tough club too. And that's because these are 2 of the best coaches in the league. I think you're not going to talk. You're not going to find a single media member that's covering Arkansas basketball right now that doesn't think that Eric Musselman isn't at least one of the top. What do you think? 4 or 5 coaches in the SEC right now. The same can be said about Ben Howland. This is a guy that has won everywhere he's gone and did good things with this team last year. And it feels like they're, like crouching, like hidden dragon, crouching tiger. I think it's the other way around was the old movie. This is a team that is very dangerous, and this is a pivotal basketball game for Arkansas with 2 home games coming up, and I mean here it is. What is this? It's the 6th SEC game of the year. 4-2 is a heck of a lot better than 3-3. You want to get to that point where at least you're a couple of games over 500 to compete for those top 4 spots. So. Hey, the Kentucky game had all the hype, had all the excitement surrounding it. This game might even be more important. Not just because it's tonight's game. It is a chance to go get a road victory in a really difficult spot, quad 1 win on the road. Mm-hmm. The committee would take notice for this. This is a huge ball game, but I do think Arkansas. I think it's going to be a single possession game. I think it's going to come down. I think Arkansas covers, okay? We'll put it in those terms.
3.5 point favorites for the Bulldogs. So you're saying that Arkansas loses by 3 points or less based on that?
I'm going to go this is going to be like a 1 or 2 point game.
I hope so. And Ken Palm's got it at 67-65 Mississippi State, so I'm kind of with you. I think it's to be a close ball game. And when you look at, you mentioned the quad 1 win and the fact that Mississippi State's only favored by 3.5 points. They're favored by 4 points now. It's opened up at 3.5. I just think that Arkansas has been able to weather the storm on the road at certain points this season. And yes, Mississippi State is favored to win this ball game. Most people think it. But one of the things our listeners, Phil, have been harping on is not being ranked. Not being ranked. Why aren't we ranked? Why aren't we ranked? Well, you win this game and you beat TC home, you're probably going to be ranked. Give yourself a reason to be ranked. Go on the road, get a quadrant 1 win the ball game, win the game on Saturday. Like Musk said, this is probably the biggest stretch of games they've had all season long, and maybe the rest of the way because of how it's stacked up. Kentucky, Mississippi State, and TCU. You got to figure out a way to win this game tonight.
Does Arkansas have any quadrant 1 wins? Was the Indiana game quad 1?
I think they were outside.
Could that be the only one?
Or
would that be the only one with a chance?
Were they inside the top 75?
It all depends if they were inside the top 75 at that time. So
Hacker says he thinks they boat race Arkansas tonight.
Boat race?
Yeah.
Hey, take out your hatred on Billy Packer. Take it out. If you're going to go with Dickie V, go with Billy Packer. These things go together, don't they?
Man.
Well, it was a fun show today.
Billy Packer.
It was a fun show today. We appreciate everybody tuning in and all the calls and texts. Well, mostly text today. Hacker says he thinks that Arkansas gets boat raced. Text in the 479 says he thinks Mississippi State covers the spread and Arkansas loses by 7. Jason in Frankfurt says Mississippi State's bigs are not as quick or fast as Kentucky bigs. I'd have a bone to pick about that because I think Reggie Perry's one of the best in the country in the SEC. Anyway, 5:30 airtime, 6 o'clock for the tip. Have a great rest of your day. And for Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
That time at Oaklawn when a new racing season